Why is Korea banned but still has money for developing nuclear weapons? North Korea is among the countries mostly heavily sanctioned by the United States and the United Nations. These include the ban on the sale of weapons and luxury goods, a ban on dealings with foreign banks, and countless other trade restrictions. All of this has strangled North Korea's economy. So, how do they have a lot of money to develop nuclear weapons? In this video, we will learn what has been decoded. First, we need to know the cost to build and deploy a nuclear warhead. According to US estimates, it is about $85 million for installing nuclear warheads on land-based missiles and $200 million for submarines. For the B-61 and B-83 nuclear bombs, the cost to deploy each bomb on an aircraft is $270 million. Not to mention the cost to extend the life of each nuclear weapon by more than 10 years is about $20 to $80 million depending on the type. Since 1940 and 1996, the United States has spent a total of more than $5 trillion maintaining its nuclear arsenal. Thereby, we can see the amount of money to own and maintain nuclear weapons is extremely large. So, how did the North Korean government get the money? In the 1950s, North Korea launched a war with South Korea to unify the country but failed. Soon after, the United States and many Western countries enacted economic sanctions against North Korea. Their purpose was to isolate, bring down the Kim regime, and help Korea become the sole nation of the peninsula. To avoid that, leader Kim Il-sung, the grandfather of Kim Jong-un, sent a group of subordinates to Macau to earn money. At that time, Macau was a colony of Portugal. Here, there are international banks famous for their casinos, black market transactions, and many organized crime. More importantly, it was located near China, which was North Korea's close ally at the time. Therefore, Macau was the ideal location to accomplish the goal for North Korea. The first group sent to Macau opened restaurants and companies, but mainly to carry out illegal activities such as drug trafficking, tobacco smuggling, and luxury goods. In addition, they used the money they earned to buy the necessary items to be shipped back to Pyongyang. As a result, those companies in Macau gradually became the source of finance and logistics for Korea. Together with aid from the Soviet Union and China, North Korea's economy grew beyond that of South Korea in the 15 years after the war. In the 1970s and 1980s, North Korea attempted to industrialize and modernize the country. They have come up with feasible plans to implement. At the same time, however, the United States deployed more nuclear weapons in South Korea. From 150 to 190 warheads. Their purpose was to counter the threats from the Chinese Communists and also to deter North Korea from developing nuclear weapons. So, instead of spending money on economic development, they have spent money on weapons, procurement, and nuclear development. In addition, the split in Sino-Soviet relations forced North Korea to choose between two allies, and it chose China. Thus, the large source of aid coming from the Soviet Union dwindled and disappeared when the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991. At that time, North Korea was in dire need of money, and illegal activities in Macau were the most viable option. They increased drug trafficking, counterfeit money, counterfeit goods, and weapons system procurement. Most of this activity was through the company Zhongguan, which had the cover of the machinery and textiles trading company. This was first revealed by a former agent of dynasty Kim Hyun-hui. He was responsible for the bombing of 858 Korean airplanes that killed 115 people in 1987. After being arrested, she confessed everything. In 1994, the US government also got evidence when they arrested 5 employees of Zhongguan Company while they were transporting $250,000 in counterfeit money. In 1995, when Macau International Airport opened for the first time, Korean airline Air Koryo quickly opened a branch here and added a branch in Bangkok. Their flights never have passengers, instead transporting contraband such as fake cigarettes, drugs and luxury goods. All are brought back to the country and sold to provide money for the regime. The Portuguese police tried to stop it but were powerless. In 1999, Portugal returned Macau to China after more than 400 years of rule. During the first decades after the Chinese takeover, the area was rife with organized crime. The police were just like puppets, took money and turned a blind eye to evil. That makes Zhou Guang's activities more convenient. However, by 2002, everything was turned upside down. US President George Bush used the term axis of evil to refer to the countries that sponsor terrorism and develop weapons of mass destruction. North Korea, Iraq, and Iran were the first countries to be on the blacklist. Since then, Zhou Guang's company activities have been closely monitored. In 2005, the U.S. Treasury Department sanctioned Delta Asia Bank in Macau for aiding money laundering for the North Korean government. Accordingly, this bank has been banned from dealing with U.S. companies and financial institutions. In addition, the United States froze 25 million of North Korean deposits in the bank. Under increasing scrutiny, the Zhou Guang company moved its headquarters from Macau to Zhuhai, one of the China's 4 special economic zones. However, their illegal activities are becoming less or more secret because of the special interests of the United States. Beyond the foregoing, the North Korean regime survives in large part thanks to China. Because China wants to keep North Korea as a buffer zone with South Korea. China has helped North Korea circumvent the law to conduct commercial activities. In addition, the North Korean government is also believed to be behind the hacks of banks around the world. The most famous in the hack of nearly $1 billion from Bangladesh Bank in 2016. Experts have found traces of those hackers originated from North Korea, but they did not identify and catch the hackers. All in all, for a country like North Korea with an economic strangulation that wants a lot of money to develop nuclear weapons is a dilemma. They will have many secret ways that we cannot know all about. And the video comes to the end here. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe to the channel.